All right, thanks guys, that was awesome. I'm now joined by Michael Kadonoff, who's the CEO of Braingrid Corporation, which trades on the CSE under the ticker BGRD. Michael, how's it going?
Great, and I'm really glad to be back here. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Thanks so much, yeah, and I saw you earlier at the CanTech conference, and there seemed to be a lot of people kind of poking around your booth, asking questions, so that's always a good sign.
I hear words like upcoming stock and some sizzle. It's good. It's good to be public. It was it was a long road, but we got there.
Yeah. Okay. So just for our viewers who may not be as familiar, just fill us in on what Braingrid's all about and what the core business is.
For sure. Braingrid is a technology company, ancillary services as a solution. We're directly serving the cannabis industry, both small and large growers, to help them basically make better decisions. Not take their jobs, but make better decisions. We do that with soup to nuts, the technology, the Centroller. It's the hardware we develop and design and has a patent, all the way up through to beautiful dashboards, alarms, reports, etc. It's where we are today.
So how do you get the data? Like, what does it look like in a practical sense? If you, let's say I'm a potential client, what am I getting, and how are we working together?
Sure, we have basically 3 standard offerings. It's about light quality, air quality, and nutrient or soil quality. And we sell those packages into the grow in much greater density with far easier ease of installation than any other company I think out there. Our cost is very low and the granularity is very high. So for instance, air sense is humidity, temperature, CO2, and barometric pressure. And in that vicinity, about 250 to 1,000 square feet, you're covered. It tells you a story about what's going on in the canopy. With the recent addition of our Centroller S, we can place these anywhere without a plug. Truly plug and play, but no plug.
So what does it look like? Just as an example, where do you put it? What is it?
It's a little white box about the size of like an iPad mini.
Okay.
And it's white. It's kind of rounded and I think quite sleek looking. And they usually stick magnetically to steel poles, and that's the deployment. Like the grower just takes them and just goes ka-chunk, and you're done. So it's reporting in real time, wirelessly over many, many hundreds of meters through a cell backhaul, lots of nerdy stuff, all the way up to them sitting on their couch with their kids, making better decisions about what will happen. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Yeah,
so in a very practical sense, as we look at some of the graphics your company has, what would be a very real-world example of something that might get flagged by your software, which would then be acted upon, just as an example?
In order to answer that, I'd like to just highlight what we're good at right now. It's the past and the present. Excuse me, just getting over a cold.
Yeah.
The past and the present. And what that means is we're good at records, historical logs, reports. It helps the growers assign liability, support compliance activities, figured out what worked and what didn't work in the past. And that's great, but it's not super awesome. The present is also something we're good at. That gives you alarms, it helps you smooth operations, again through a real-time dashboard that's extremely easy to understand, not for engineers only. We're really focused, and where I think that the holy grail for the growers is decision support around what will happen. What happened, what's happening, what will happen is what we're promising. Don't have it yet, but our work with our PhD and plant biologist is turning out some remarkable results that we're sharing privately with WeedMD and Believe as well. Things like I'd like to be able to say in the near future are, unless you do X in the next 3 hours, you'll lose this crop in 3 days. Not now, in 3 days. If you have a PM outbreak, it's too late.
Right. Okay. So, looking at, speaking of WeedMD, I should say, January 10th, you issued a press release saying there's the first commercial deployment with WeedMD. So, just talk a little bit about that arrangement that you have with them.
Well, the first commercial deployment, thank you so much, happened in 2016, mid-2016, when both of our companies were in its nascent state. We've grown with WeedMD and have earned their trust over the years, and now have expanded into their new Strathroy facility with over 50 devices. We're very proud to be a partner and are glad to be supporting their ecosystem.
Awesome. And then just today, actually, you released another statement that an agreement with Isolocity. Isolocity, okay.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Great company, very proud to have this partnership, and more like that coming. As a public company, we're garnering a lot of interest, but just to get back to Isolocity, they're a QMS system, they're a QMS provider, and they have a lot of the activities that growers are involved in. They know what's happening and when, and who's responsible for it. We have the real-time data. Connecting those two through this relationship allows much greater data-driven growing and an understanding of, again, what works, what doesn't work, how you can avoid risk, how you can improve yields, et cetera.
Okay, so it looks like that would be sort of the milestones for the year to come, would be striking new relationships like this, or how
complementary solutions,
yeah.
Correct. So, things on the horizon for accretive growth would be controls companies that have chunky revenue but need to get contemporary, energy solutions, and more. But we're in forward-looking statement territory.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So, are you going to focus strictly on cannabis for the time being, or is there other applications?
We've already explored and have delivered pilots and solutions with customers across the border and outside of cannabis. We just don't talk about it much. Okay. If you can grow cannabis well, you can grow tomatoes well. Food scarcity is going to face all of us very soon. And energy management, with some of the relationships we have across the border, we're helping manage new legislation around where you get water, how much electricity you use as a grower, or in this case, a farmer. Farmers are now required to actually measure how much water they pull from an aquifer or a lake or a wellhead, and that's by law. It's not a nice to have, and we're really making it possible for them to do that. So it's great to see movement there.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Michael, for coming in today. I really appreciate it, and we look forward to following the company in the months to come.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks, Fraser.
No problem. Thank you.